Thanks for sitting down with us, Danny, speaking with us after the news about you having to retire. First of all, just kind of gives us a wee idea of what's been going on and where you are with the back injury.
So a bit of a long process really. An injury out in the park back in the Scottish Cup tie in September, October time, James. Bit of an awkward fall and a long kind of process to find out what had happened and what had caused the injury. So long and short of it, spinal injury. It's affected my spinal cord and my nervous system. So kind of reduced use of my right arm and hand for the time being. And the doctors are indicating that it'll be a long road to recovery, but certainly for the time being absolutely can't do anything that risks making that injury worse. So I had to take no choice really but to hang the boots up, so to speak.
I mean, obviously you're still relatively young, especially in football terms, but kind of with it having come to an end as abrupt as it has, looking back on your full career, is it something that you'd have told 15-year-old Danny Ashe, this is how it's going to go? Would you have been happy with it? Would you have been?
I think over the piece, yeah. Really happy. Obviously still a wee bit more in that state of kind of, adjusting and getting used to not being able to go out in the park and train with the guys, but still being involved to an extent. Danny's been really good about that, but yeah, over the course, I had not a bad kick at it, I would say.
And for you, looking over the course of your career, kind of what are the big highlights that really jump out to you, kind of the first things that spring to mind when you look back over it all?
So kind of, I would say in order, a League Two playoff title or a win at Stirling when I was here in my younger days. Lowland League title in there, East of Scotland Cup here a couple of years ago, so a few kind of successes in there which always make it a bit easier and keep that hunger up and keep you coming back year on year.
You mentioned there you made the breakthrough at Stirling, so kind of just go through your career just a wee bit. As you say, you broke through at Stirling and became a first team regular in 2012. Kind of how was that for you, especially with the prospect? You had Rangers in the third division, so it was no any ordinary season.
No, it was an enjoyable time. As you've said, came through there as a youngster, managed to get in the first team, I think 2.5, 3 seasons in there, and played for my age. Happy with the amount of football I played. The season where Rangers were in the league, there was a right kind of, I remember a right kind of buzz around the place, and they would come to Forth Bank, we would go to Ibrox, and it was nice memories. And
then after your time at the Beanos, you moved on to Stirling Uni. Kind of how did you find balancing working and playing at the time, and kind of was there still a hope that you would kind of move back up the ranks and get back into the league and possibly into full-time football?
That was one of the things I've never done actually. Never played full time. The university was probably the closest to that. The guys were in kind of 4 sessions a week, and the majority of them that were studying at the time played Wednesday in the Uni League and then Saturday in the Lowland League. So good time there. Going through a bit of a change. First child born, so a wee bit of shifting kind of responsibility, but a really good environment to play in. A lot of young guys here that have in time went on to kind of consistently on to kind of better things. So there is a good few of them now playing in kind of League 1, League 2, and doing really well. Really enjoying my time there.
And then spells with East Stirlingshire and Celtic Hearts followed. With all respect to East Stirlingshire, you probably couldn't find 2 clubs at that level that are different circumstances. Kind of what was the contrast between the two, and how did you find going from one to the other? And
so just a year at East Stirling, an enjoyable year, a good group of guys. Didn't quite live up to the expectation that we'd set for ourselves. I think we finished maybe 4th or 5th in the Lowland League that year. And then, as you say, after that, the opportunity came to move on to Kelty at the time. A year there as well, very different environment, very demanding. But again, a good group of guys who trained very, very well, and ultimately that played out on a Saturday during the games. We done well that year. That was a COVID year, I think. So I think we got to around about the end of the March, and the league was stopped and called. But different environment. I think Bonnie and Rig were potentially the other team in the race for the league that year. So yes, another enjoyable season in somewhat different circumstances.
And then COVID happened, and you'd find yourself moving here. First of all, it's a big jump between the levels at Kelty to here, given the positions in the league tables. What was it that made you take that jump down?
So it wasn't as much the jump down, James. I think COVID changed a lot of things for people for different reasons. At the time, was working a lot. There was some travelling involved in that. I just moved to Denny, actually, just up to Edinmuir, and knew some of the team down here at the time. So I'd actually made a very short decision to step away from football for a wee bit, but that only played out for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, I would say. And then the opportunity came around to come in here and do a bit of training, and one thing led to another, and 3.5 years later, something like that, still here.
When you came here, you were a relatively big name as a signing. You kind of made that jump down. You've played at a kind of higher level. See, having that trust that the manager puts in you with a really young group, how does that feel, kind of both as a footballer and as a person, that you're that responsible head, you're the guy that young guys only look to, kind of pick up good habits and kind of learn from?
I would say over the course, you're right, it's a very young group, or it has been a very young group. It's been good to see some of them kind of mature, particularly over the last kind of 12 to 18 months, but that kind of role, in the changing room, on the park, particularly with younger guys. I remember growing up and there was always 2 or 3 in every changing room that were a wee bit of older head, and they would look after the young boys and keep them on the right track and on the straight and narrow, so to speak. So when I was younger, I got the benefit. There was a lot of value in that. So I suppose transitioning into being one of those older heads, although only 28, 29 at the time, seen it as a bit of a challenge, really, but a good challenge where, if you could support some of these younger guys and help them develop, the benefits here for them as individuals, the team, the club, and I'd like to think some of that experience and what I've brought over the last 2 or 3 years has helped, particularly when you look at some of the good moments we've had over the last kind of 18 months or so.
And speaking of those good moments, we've had the South Challenge Cup win. There's been some really historic Scottish Cup moments. There's been both yourself good and bad, red cards and goals and what have you. How do those moments feel, playing in games that you know are quite historic games within the community itself, especially as you say you've just moved to the area, you're kind of embedded within the community, and you're playing a part in these games that's seen the club grow and get more attention and more eyeballs on it?
I'd say the club puts a hell of a shift in, come on leaps and bounds in the last kind of 2 or 3 years. Those games, I would, if you don't get a wee bit, if you're not getting up for those and there's a wee bit of the butterflies and whatnot, then you maybe shouldn't be on the park. But definitely nice occasions for the club and some of the players that haven't experienced that yet. You talk about kind of decent Scottish Cup runs, big ties in some of those years. Said to them, I remember at the time, particularly last season where we had a nice run, don't take this for granted. I remember being younger and you would maybe play a Dundee or an Inverness in the Scottish Cup 3rd or 4th round, and you know, it almost just felt like any other Saturday. But they're big games, big occasions for a number of reasons, and always try to encourage the guys to enjoy those when they come around.
I think on the flip side of that, the last maybe 18 months or so, you've had probably some different injuries. You had the knee injury last season that kept you out, and then again this season with the back injury that's unfortunately brought your blink rate. And then how difficult has it been being on the sidelines, knowing that this is a team that you're very much a big part of and they're pushing for big things?
There's no two ways about it. You want to be playing as a player, you didn't want to be spending time on the sidelines injured, but yeah, a couple of unfortunate injuries. A knee injury last year, I ended up needing to get some surgery on. Managed to get through that, recover for pre-season, got a good pre-season in actually following that, and then just an unfortunate injury, back injury out there in kind of September, October time. So frustrating, but still, you know, it's not about, this place isn't about one player, or you know, it's very much a team ethos. Gaffer always talks about, Danny's always talking about, you know, it's all about the team. It's you know, it's about the team success. It's not about individuals, and the guys are buying into that. So even though there's been a few spells there where I've not been able to play, you know, still being around, getting involved in the training, supporting the guys on a match day where you can, whether that's be in the changing room before the game or on the sidelines during the game, to try and, you know, help them and encourage them all.
And anybody that's been at a game in the last, I don't know, 18 months or so, even when you're not playing, you're a very vocal on the sidelines. In the last few weeks at least, you've been getting involved a bit more on the coaching side of things. Is that something that in a longer term might be on the cards for you? Is that just dipping your toes in the now?
Yeah, Dan's been great. We'll get to this, I suppose there's no plans at the minute, James. We'll get to the summer and see what's what, but really grateful to him after, you know, a bit of a shock really, and a bit of a freak injury that, you know, he's been accommodating and willing to allow me to kind of stay around and stay involved in the changing room and the team and helping the guys out during training and on match days. So we'll see what happens in the summer.
And we've recently had Morgan Galloway's kind of stepped in, kind of taking the armband in your absence alongside Tristan McArthur in the centre of defence. How do you think those two have been doing as a partnership, and how well do you think Morgie's kind of handled that added responsibility that comes?
Superb. Absolutely superb. So again, two younger guys. Morgie's been here for you know, a good number of years now, and MD that's been coming down to the games on a Saturday, you know, they'll see the progression in his game. So really stepped into those shoes well, and Tristan next to him, you know, they've formed a fairly steady partnership. They're not conceding many goals, and a good solid base for the team. But a lot of other kind of guys in there, younger guys in particular, a few older heads round about them, but have done exceptionally well. Young Martin, Dylan Tennant coming in this year, Sam Colley chipping in with a number of goals. So yeah, there is a bit of that. It's a wee bit of me feels like a proud dad at points when you see them kind of do well, but yeah, hopefully it continues between now and kind of May, June time.
And just going to wrap up this wee bit, what's been your abiding memory of your time at Dunipace?
Cup win, probably the standout success over the last 2 or 3 years. The cup win against BSC at Linlithgow Rose. Nice moment, nice memory. A lot of people that come down round about the club and the community. A bit of a victory for them as well. So that would be the standout moment.
Then just a couple of quick ones, just putting the spot a wee bit. Just
thanks.
One word answery type things. Favourite game you've played in?
Rangers at home at Fourth Bank actually. In that season they were in the Lowland League. Managed to get a 1-1 draw. Very difficult game, but.
Best player you've played with?
Technically, Dylan Easton at Kelty. Unbelievable with the ball at his feet.
Best you've played against?
Andy Robertson actually. So he would have been 2 or 3 games against him. He would have been a youngster in the Queen's Park team in that 3rd division in those kind of early days at Stirling.
Who's the worst you've played with?
I can't answer that. I could answer it, but I'm not going to answer it.
Who's been the best Dunipace player this season?
There's a few for different reasons. Overall performances, Dylan Tennant's been excellent for me. However, at points, Big Sam's been unplayable, and he's chipped in with an unbelievable number of important goals.
And out of the younger ones that are here, who do you think's got the potential to go 2-3 levels up? A lot of them are kind of 20, 21, 22, but listen, it's one of these things, there's a wee bit of it, it's about being in the right place at the right time and playing a blinder when the right people have got eyes in the game, so it's hard to say. There's a few of them that are doing really well, they're bringing consistency to their game, they're bringing performances, so if they keep that up, I'm sure 1 or 2 of them will have a right good chance at doing well in the game. And just last one, anything else you want to add or say?
No, boys are obviously doing well, as I say, it's about the team, pleased to be staying around for the remainder of the season, and you know, game at a time, we'll see how we go, but at this point, you know, where you want to be, fighting for a promotion spot at the top end of a league, so feet on the ground, very much feet on the ground, a game at a time, and looking forward to see how it kind of plays out between now and May.